This is Channel 25 WVTT Olean. Now, from the Twin Tiers' biggest broadcast news operation, this is the 6 o'clock report with Jeff Andrulonis and Alexa Olson. Listen on News Radio 96.7 WVTT or watch on News Channel 25 WVTT television. WVTT proudly presents the 6 o'clock report.
Good evening, I'm Alexa Olson.
And I'm Jeff Andrulonis. Good evening. No power. If that's not bad enough, now no food as well. While millions were enjoying backyard barbecues over the 4th of July, millions of people in 11 states were left without electricity.
Food has spoiled, grocery store shelves are empty, and pantries are running low. It's especially hard in West Virginia, and Brian Todd reports.
John Roberts is in a hurry. He's got to get a truckload full of food and water to a shelter soon. Roberts runs a faith-based charity called Mountain Mission. We follow his team as they pull into the Kanawha City Community Center, a temporary shelter in Charleston. Dozens who've been without power and food for days, many of them low income, are visibly relieved at his arrival.
Thank you so much.
People like Yolanda Wilcox, legally blind and on food stamps. She says her family of 8 struggled to find food since a tree fell on her house and knocked out the power.
We went to churches and stuff like that to get some food, But it's been very hard indeed, because you had to go from place to place, and then it's hot.
23-year-old Blue Pack tells an even more desperate story. How long did you go without food and water?
About 4 days.
What was that like?
Very hard, very hot. You felt like you were going to pass out, got trembling, shaking.
State officials, charity leaders tell us nearly every county in West Virginia is dealing with food shortages. Stores without power have tossed out spoiled food. State food banks are depleted of non-perishables.
This has really surprised us. I mean, I've been doing this job for 12 years, and we help with a lot of fires, a lot of floods, things like that. But this storm snuck up on us.
Now, aid groups and state officials are working furiously to head off a worst-case scenario. John Roberts' group has distributed 50,000 bottles of water this size, 4,000 pounds of non-perishable food to the residents here in need. But as far as the federal response goes, a FEMA official tells us this is not another Katrina. That official says FEMA has learned from Hurricane Katrina, has coordinated with state officials from day one, bringing 100,000 meals into West Virginia, more than 50 tractor trailers full of water, nearly 100 large generators. Some of it clearly has arrived without much time to spare.
It's hard, but yet and still we thank God that it is a place that we can come and get food.
Not only are the people feeling the heat in West Virginia, but that heat wave stretches all the way up the East Coast to Baltimore, Maryland. WVTT spoke to meteorologist John Collins from WBAL, the NBC affiliate in Baltimore, about this heat wave.
This heat wave, this particular one, should extend into at least the first half of the weekend. Once we get to Saturday night and Sunday, it looks like a front and a storm system will come through and take the temperatures back from up around 100 to closer to 90 or 93 degrees or so. Still hot, but not as hot or humid. The high heat and humidity is really uncomfortable. It makes it hard to cool your body if you are involved in outdoor activities, construction work, athletics, anything like that. It increases the demand for water and frequent rest periods and things like that.
Collins said that the heat wave will last through the weekend, and it could get dangerous, especially since hundreds of thousands of people are still without power from Friday's huge storm. However, there may be a break from the heat with possible thunderstorms on the way. After 15 years of rough road, East State Street is finally getting a facelift. WVTT's Ashley Masala went to the groundbreaking ceremony and has more on what will happen now that this project is finally underway.
Really starts to turn the page on a new chapter to help businesses, to maybe spark our economy even more, and really make this end of Olean a gateway to our great city.
Shovels dug into the ground today, marking the beginning of a long overdue issue. Mayor Witt, state dignitaries, and local business owners spoke at a groundbreaking ceremony for the East State Street project, saying how happy they are that this construction is finally underway. Though the project has gotten a late start, the detour was enforced this morning and construction has officially begun. Alderman Ann McLaughlin said they hope to have the project finished by November unless unforeseen issues arise in which the construction could last until next year.
This whole area will be transformed and hopefully spur economic growth, and the residents will have a new foundation and area to drive on.
Mayor Witt suggested community members who normally drive on East State Street leave 20 minutes earlier to make time for the detour and traffic. From WVTT News Channel 25, I'm Ashley Masala.
You know what, Jeff? I was actually at that groundbreaking ceremony with our reporter Ashley Masala, and we got to meet Senator Catherine Young and a bunch of other state dignitaries.
Very nice.
But I also got to take a ride on that detour that they set up.
Uh-oh.
That detour is from Seneca Street to Front Street, and found something out. Take a look at this.
We just got back from the press conference at East State Street, and now we're taking that detour that we talked about earlier. And, you know, it is quite a long detour, so you're definitely going to have to add an extra 20, maybe even 30 minutes to your commute if you use East State Street, because we've definitely been almost in a standstill here. I'm not sure if it's the traffic from that press conference or not, but yeah, it's not the most fun. For WVTT Channel 25, I'm Alexa Olson.
Camera person was in the passenger seat there. In other news, some new and some familiar faces sworn in at the reorganizational meeting for the Olean School Board earlier this week. Ira Katzenstein starts his third term on the school board. He was elected president. He's held that office 2 other times and was also vice president twice. Michael Martello, who was absent from the meeting, was elected vice president. Newly elected board member Amy Giacchetti, re-elected board member Lori Branch, and Superintendent Colleen Taggarty were all sworn in as well. Now, regular board meetings will be held the first and third Tuesdays of each month in Olean.
A bridge in Allegheny County is now a tribute to a fallen hometown hero. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo signed a bill that would name the bridge on I-86 over Route 305 in Cuba as the Sergeant Mark Bradley Memorial Bridge. Sergeant Bradley was a graduate of Cuba Rushford High School and joined the Marine Corps shortly after receiving his diploma in 2003. He was seriously injured in a bomb attack in Afghanistan in June of last year and died 2 weeks later.
Well, as Huey Lewis sang, the heat is on, and here in the Twin Tiers, it's just going to get worse. Complete weather details coming up as the 6 o'clock report continues here on News Channel 25 WVTT.